It is 2023, almost 2024, and I'm making a video on the RX580. So why are we still talking about this graphics card? They keep making them. They're making them in China. I don't know if they're making them anywhere else, but I'll show you the one I got. This video is not sponsored. This price when I got it was $56, but note that they're having a really big sale. They did sponsor me to talk about their sale, but I'm not doing it in this video. I'm only making this video because I was kind of blown away at how many games I could play with this graphics card. Want to note that the version I got came with 3 display ports and 1 HDMI and no DVI, so I was a little bummed. But, you know, at the price, I'm not going to scream and yell too much because I can just use a conversion cable if I want to. This probably will go on sale a little bit more, so keep watching it. Let's take a look at the price history right here. You know, like got it back in 2022 up here, and now here's where we are. The new price in America is around 130 bucks, and then you can get them used on eBay for 55. If you're 55. If you wanted to get it on eBay, you could, but I would rather have a brand new one like this. It's an 8GB version, which is what you want. The 4GB version is not going to cut it. It's got a back plate for rigidity. So yeah, it's nice, and also it's very quiet. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it, and it took about 8 or 9 days to get here. I think it was 8 days. So it got here quicker from China than I expected it to. So what we're gonna do is just see how well it plays modern games. We're gonna test it with all kinds of different things to see if you can spend like 50, 60 bucks and get a card that'll allow you to play some modern stuff. Maybe you've got an APU and you need a little upgrade or whatever. We're gonna hang it on the couch, load up the TV, and just play some games and talk about how well they play on this card. Whokeys is where I get my Windows keys, and there's a reason for that. They have OEM Windows keys, which are a fraction of the price of the regular Windows keys. They've got Windows 11 Pro, they got Windows 10 Pro, they got Home, they got Office 2021, and we also have 2019 and 2016 as well. All month long they've got their Black Friday sale going on, but we have a coupon code that'll make the price even lower. Use TS25 to save 25%. Putting in coupon code TS25, click apply, and then watch these prices come down. Wonderful. Once you're finished, all you have to do is click on your user account up here, go to your user center, click on My Purchase Orders, just view keys and codes, then you can just copy and paste your key, hit start, type activate, click on activation settings, paste it in there, click on next, and you will be activated. You know, I never liked how Microsoft has different prices for different people. If you're a home user, you're gonna pay 10 times more than an OEM builder or a corporation or something like that. And that's why I like heading to places like Whokeys.com to get the OEM keys, so I can pay a price that makes sense. So thanks to them for sponsoring, and now to our regularly scheduled program. So my hard drive is really slow. Now I'm just waiting on all these textures to pop in. Good grief. All right, it's saving right here because there's a thing coming up. I can endorse this. You can definitely play Baldur's Gate 3. Let's get in close and see how it looks. I've got some depth of field turned on. Let's talk to somebody so we can see what the depth of field looks like. I think it looks really good. We're pretty much stuck at 45 FPS. Okay, this is really weird. So I decided to turn on the FSR to see how that worked. I put on FSR 2.0. And the hair looks much better, like the shading in the hair. I didn't change any other settings. I'm getting the same FPS. It maybe looks a tiny bit blurrier, but this is on the quality FSR setting. Yeah, it actually is running a couple FPS higher. We're at 46 now. So if you wanted to, because this game doesn't need like extreme FPS, you probably could turn this up just a little bit more. And I'm very pleased with these results. Again, even on the high setting, we could come in here and turn a few things up if you wanted to, because 46 for a game that doesn't require super quick twitching reflexes is totally fine. All right, so City Skylines, in order to get this to run at what I feel to be an acceptable frame rate, I just put it on very low. So what I'm going to talk about here is just how it plays and how it looks on very low. It feels pretty smooth. Now, how does this look? Well, I think that maybe City Skylines 1 looks a little better in comparison to this when you talk about very low, because you can play that one on like medium or high settings. This one needs to be optimized. I think after it's optimized that some of the stuttering may stop, but right now you can see our 1% low is 34 and our average is just pretty much stuck at 39. So it's extremely playable. When I first started, when some of the textures were loading and stuff, moving in and out kind of did make the frame rate drop a few times, but after, see right there, like once it's kind of loading something new, it will stutter a little bit. But you know, after you get it up and running, it's pretty smooth, and it's not a bad experience. Now this game is a lot of fun, and even on the low setting, I think it looks pretty good, and I would still recommend playing this. Because City Skylines 2, even compared to 1, there's a few quality of life features that I really like, and a few just upgrades in general There is more to manage in some ways, but less to manage in others. Like now we have to put up communication centers like post offices, and we need these communication towers. Like we need some of these right now. You can see like the areas, okay, where have I got one right there? And a bunch of people are complaining that, hey, they got no communications. So I'm gonna put a communications tower right over here in the middle of this mess. I wish the interface would get out of my way sometimes, but I can always do this. Move the camera around. Anyway, yeah, I'm having quite a bit of fun with this game, just in general. And it will work on an RX580 with the 5600G. And one of the other things I really like about this is that you have the options when you're building housing. You can do American or European style, and check this out. We have different European style, like the ingenious stuff where it has like the bottom floor being shops and whatnot. This is similar to what you'd see in your Shotengai in Japan, but also they do this in developed civilized places where you have shops on the bottom and then housing above that. Generally quiet, smaller streets. You can build those kind of houses, and also just other European style houses. They have a different aesthetic, and you can zone for that. And then when you come in here, you'll see like, oh, I've got my little European style houses. How interesting and cute. Much nicer neighborhoods in my opinion. And I like the fact that I feel like maybe they were watching some of the stuff that's going on with strong towns and everything. We have some of those updates and upgrades. When I was playing Cities, I was like, this is a very American take on things. But City Skylines II has a much more of a global take on what communities and cities should be. So anyway, let's move on to the next game. It does look a little rough on low. Like, look at that. Not a lot of shading going on. You know what? Let's turn up the shadows a little bit and see what we can do. I'm gonna get crazy here. Fog quality. Oh God, I'm doing terrible things. See what I can get away with. Ambient occlusion, I'll leave that off, but I do want global illumination kills the FPS, just so you know, and so does your depth of field on certain graphics cards. Got my motion blur disabled. Shadow quality. All right, this might hit the GPU, but let's try it on low. There we go. Let's see what we got now. And okay, that's it. There we go, much better. Turning on the shadows and the clouds and the fog barely affected the FPS. So put it on very low. Turn on the shadows, because that looks so much better with just some shadows. We still don't have ambient occlusion because that kills the frame rate. But just turning off global illumination and depth of field, those are the two main things, and we're still at the exact same frame rate, 39. So you can play with this and make it very playable, and now I think it looks pretty good once the shadows are on. You know, 39 FPS and 33 is our 1% low. For a game like this, that is completely playable, and it feels nice and smooth. And once you get your city loaded in and it all gets like, you know, up and running, I guess maybe some of it loads into your RAM or video memory, but once everything gets cached, it runs great. All right, let's move on to the next game. All right, Robocop. So I was pleasantly surprised about Robocop. It looks really good. Of course, here you're going to see some shimmering because we have to use FSR. It doesn't allow us to change that up, but we do get the reflections. Unreal Engine 5 as well. And we're here in the open world averaging 36 FPS, but it's a really smooth 36 FPS. I would like to have it a little bit higher, but you know, and then like, see all that sparkle on the ground? A lot of that's the sharpening with the upscaling, so we can come in and try to look at some of those options here. So let's go in and look at our video. Now we're on FSR 2.2. Got the quality setting going on, and then here's all my other settings are pretty much just on medium here, as you can see, and I keep motion blur and chromatic aberration off because those are artifacts and I don't like them. I do like the artifact of bokeh though, like background blur. And I've got my high quality lumen reflections off. I could probably turn that on, and this will probably hurt quite a bit. Let's apply it and see if it works. Oh, it actually works. So yeah, we can leave the high quality lumen reflections on. I don't love the flicker that's going on, but TAA will let us do the 100%. So let's try that. It'll probably knock our frame rate down a little bit, but let's see how this works. All right, so TAA looks better. Yeah, we're not getting nearly as much flicker on the ground. So now we can just play the game. 36 FPS at 1080p medium with TAA, and it looks pretty good. It feels pretty good because we're not really dipping. And let's talk about the game just a little bit because it's new and maybe you haven't heard about it. So the graphics in this game are actually really good. And one of the things I'm gonna mention, I highly recommend coming in, hitting the options, going over to gameplay, and then turning the HUD off as much as you can. I like to put it on clean. Now take a look how this looks. There we go. So this game, I thought it was going to be just to run around and shoot stuff, but it's not. It's sort of an open game where you run around the city, solving crime, helping citizens, or harming them by, you know, citing them or shooting them in the face.
Open the door, or you will regret it.
Can't a guy just sell drugs to kids without you harassing him every 5 minutes?
But it's actually a lot of fun, and you can upgrade Robocop. You have several different areas you can upgrade him, like you can upgrade his psychological health or upgrade his engineering skills or whatever. It almost feels a little like Deus Ex in that way. In fact, a lot of the things in this game feel kind of like Deus Ex. So anyway, I actually recommend this game as well. It's quite a bit of fun. And with this graphics card CPU combo, I'm getting acceptable gameplay. Wish it was a little faster, but I think it looks awesome. And it's, you know, nice to see an Unreal Engine 5 game running on this combination. Okay, we're playing Cyberpunk right now, and it's kind of hard to tell what's going on because MSI Afterburner is registering 226 FPS, and it feels pretty good. It feels pretty fluid. My 1% lows, it says 19, so I don't think Afterburner is giving me accurate results. Every now and then it feels a little bit slow here and there, but I'm running on Ultra, and I have FSR turned off. It looks great, it's playing really, really well, but every now and then I feel a little bit of a hitch, so I'm going to turn on FSR. Changes the way it looks a little bit, but it still makes it very playable. There we go, let's put it on to quality, hit apply, and then I'll show you the rest of my settings. I put it on the Ultra setting, and then I just came down and turned off motion blur because I hate it, and chromatic aberration off, which doesn't really affect the FPS. Otherwise, you can see what we got going on down here. Everything on high and ultra. Of course, ray tracing is off. And yeah, it looks really good. Okay, this feels much better. Just turning on FSR made everything feel much more fluid. So yeah, this is totally playable. Let's bother somebody. I can't believe how good this looks and how well it plays. No cops around? Come on. We gotta whack the blue, you know what I mean? I'll take that car. Ah. Stop, stop, stop. Ah! Nobody wants to give me the car. So anyway, you can totally play Cyberpunk on this 580 at way higher settings than I imagined. People told me that the 580 was on about the same level as a 1060, and I've tried this game with a 1060 and I could not play it. This plays better than I played it with a 1080 as well. This plays better than the 1080 from what I remember. A lot better. All right, so with Street Fighter, let me show you the graphical settings we have here, and then we can try to turn on some of the stuff. I leave off screen space reflections, but we can turn on a few different things. I don't like motion blur, but that's all up to you. If you want better skin, you can turn on some subsurface scattering, but you know. Now let's go over to our detailed graphical settings. You can see we got normal lighting quality, shadow quality on normal. We can try that on high. And then our bloom on standard, sampling quality standard, and effects on low. But with that, it looks like this and plays like this. Ow. Even with ambient occlusion turned on. So I'm running this at like a medium-high settings, I would say. You're just a meathead, huh? Have some of that. It feels really good. Don't want to get too close to this jackass. Just a little bit, yeah, there we go. It'll give you a little bit of an advantage. Well, ow. All right, so Street Fighter really works, like very well. Let's try the open world real quick. All right, so yeah, it works. And I'm getting 37 FPS in certain areas. So it seems like when it gets low, it locks it at 30. And then it comes up to 37. But once you're in the fights, it feels really fluid. And that's all I really care about, you know. So I'm at 36 right now. Ow. Who else wants some? Any of you? What do you got? All right. right, that's enough of this. All right, so I decided to also benchmark an older game that still looks as good as most of the new games that are out there. But just to show you how capable this graphics card is with playing your entire back catalog, this is Metro Redux, Metro 2033 Redux, that is. 1080p, setting it on quality high, got SSAA, 4x on that, and then we also have the motion blur off, tessellation is set to high, and then PhysX is off because this is an AMD card. And our average frame rate for the benchmark was 69.4. This game was a beast when it came out, and it still looks amazing. So after you get this card for 50 bucks, you can play your entire back library. And that's the whole reason I made this video, just to be like, yeah. So if you want a major upgrade from an APU for cheap, there you go. This was cheaper than most of the games that I tested. So yeah. Anyway, the link to get this or check it out is in the description, and just know that I've been shopping on AliExpress more in the last couple of years than I have on Amazon, and I've had no issues whatsoever. So anyway, was this surprising to you? Let me know, I'm curious. Did you know that this card could still hold its own? I mean, for the money. But yeah, this is easily the best price to performance ratio out of anything. I mean, that includes the crazy new things. While you're not going to get the same performance as you would out of a $1,500 4090 or whatever, it's not $1,500. It's like 55 or something, 56, maybe lower. Don't forget, we also have a sale going on, but I'm in Japan right now. So we're having a little Make My Life Miserable sale, kind of a goofy thing. But yeah, all the Fennec stuff is going to be half price until, well, just for the month, until I get back. So like the whole Black Friday season, I'll be in Japan, and I'll just start shipping this stuff out on December 1st. So anything you buy now, it's going to ship out on December 1st, but you'll get half price. And I'll be taking loads of boxes over to the post office to bother them. But yeah, let's have a little fun. I'll see you on epicpants.com. Bye, everybody.